Welcome back to Advent at Home, our third week together. And so far, we've talked about those who dream stay awake, and those who dream prepare the way. This week, our theme is those who dream share joy. So that's what we're going to focus on, sharing joy. I have to admit that this theme was a bit tricky for me. I was thinking about it in terms of being joyful. So I was thinking about, the difference between happiness and joy and practicing joy as a response to Scripture. But then I reread the theme and the word share stuck out to me. Share joy. Not be joyful, not practice joy. Share joy. The theme assumes a posture of joy. It assumes that we are joyful, and then calls for us to share the joy that we already experience. It does beg the question, though, how are we to be joyful in the first place? Especially these days, right? The virus continues to surge. People are suffering financially, losing employment, and we're in a season when some people were excited to travel and be with family. I count myself among that group. Now we have to stay home and miss out on seeing our loved ones. How are we joyful within our own circumstances? I think this is where this dream that we've been talking about comes in. We've been talking about this dream, the dream of God's kingdom, the dream of the Word becoming flesh and dwelling among us. That dream always touches the ground. We've talked about that each week. We've talked about the concrete reality of dreams with staying awake and preparing the way. The dream we are dreaming always leads toward concrete action and takes real life circumstances into account. It's the same thing with joy. Joy must take into account real life circumstances. And, I think, it's the dream itself that allows us to be joyful within our own circumstances. I've been thinking a lot about the Saturday reading from Judges 13 when thinking about sharing joy. The unnamed woman. And just as an aside, it really bothers me that the woman is never named. She's referred to as Manoah's wife. We will find out she is Samson's mother. And she has been barren for a very long time. That Judges reading emphasizes that part. She's been barren a very long time, unable to bear children, when an angel of the Lord comes to her and tells her that she will give birth to a son. The angel's words actually take the woman's real life circumstances into account. That's what I want us to realize. The angel says, "Although you are barren, you shall conceive and bear a son." This news is cause for joy for the woman. And what she does next seems small, but it means everything, and it gets right to our theme for this week. She goes and shares this joyous word with her husband. Receive joy, share joy. This unnamed woman marks the path for us. The dream of God with us is our joy. Christ is our joy. And the world needs us to share it. So how can we do that this week? You've received joy. Now, how can you share it? I'll see you back next week for our final week of Advent at Home as we wrap up our theme of those who dream. And we'll finish out with those who dream build community. See you next week.